You're my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy umpy umpkin. You're my sweetie pie. You're my cuppy cake, gumdrop, snook'em, snook'em, snore. The apple of my eye. And I love you so, and I want you to know that I'll always be right here. And I love to say this song to you because you are so dear.
Yep, I don't know if that's how it goes.
That's my intro.
Yes! Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Kaz here, and we're here with Santa.
Hello.
And it's Valentine's Day. And as you can tell, it's a little bit different of a setup. We are just going to do something fun today. We're going to just answer some love and relationship questions.
Because you want to know it. I'm going to hang out with you guys for a bit today.
Yeah, we're going to answer some questions. First question.
Yes.
How did your relationship start? What's the story? You can go first.
There's kind of two starts to my relationship, so I don't really know.
Well, I mean, kind of give them a brief
of
how you guys met, and then...
All right. So I was in cosmetology school, and one of my friends in cosmetology school, I was only 18, said, hey, I have this guy that I think you guys would hit it off. And so we swapped numbers, and him and I talked, and his name is Brian, by the way. My guy's name is Brian, in case anybody's curious.
Hi, Brian!
Brian, love you very much. Happy Valentine's Day. So we talked and stuff, but he was like way too mature for me at that point in my life.
He's like 3 or 4 years older?
He's 4 years older than me. So he was 23 and I'm 18, and he's ready to settle down and like get married and have kids and do all this stuff. And I'm like, I just graduated high school. Like, I just wasn't ready for what he was ready for. And so I just sort of brushed him off a little bit.
I ghosted him.
Yeah, I pretty much ghosted him. And then 4 years later, I had been through some stuff, and he was just there, and he actually showed up on my People You May Know on Facebook, and I reached out to him and I was like, hey, it's been a long time since I've talked to you, just seeing how you're doing. And he messaged me back and he said, funny story, this is why I think it's perfect, this cute my little story. He said, funny story, I never get on Facebook, but I had something telling me that I should get on and check my messages on Facebook. And so him getting on to check his messages is kind of what started us, because we started texting after that, because he was like, here's my phone number, I don't get on Facebook ever, so text me. And then we started texting and dating, and
now you guys have been together 5 years?
now we just celebrated 5 years, December 26th.
That's so cute.
Your turn, Ren.
We have like a kind of similar kind of cute story.
Guys do.
So me and Jonathan met each other when we were like 15, 16 through church, and we were like best friends. We had this other best friend, his name was John as well, and we call us the Three Musketeers because we were just always inseparable. Well, when we were 16, there was a 4th of July that Jonathan admitted that he liked me, and it took him an hour and a half to tell me because he was so nervous.
That's not hard to believe.
Yeah, he was like, I can't tell you, I can't tell you. And I'm like, God, just tell. I knew what he was going to say, but I wanted him to say it to me. But anyways, so we kind of were like high school sweethearts, but so we started liking each other. But at the time, his parents really wanted him to focus on school and like they weren't really big into dating while you're young. So we kind of separated, didn't have any contact with each other. And then we ended up going to the same church again. Not knowing he's there. It's like God kept placing us with each other. And we kind of started hanging out, but like I said, he needed to focus on school and stuff, and dating was just out of the question, so I wasn't allowed really to talk to him. About 2 years later, I
remember all of that.
Yeah, about 2 years later, after a really bad relationship and breakup, I saw he was online on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And I was like,
that's so funny.
I was actually at Chippy's, I think, and it was like super late, and I was like, hey, what's up? Like, we haven't talked in a while. And then from then on, we kind of started talking and then dating.
Aww.
So I've known him almost like 15 years.
So, Facebook used to be a good thing, guys.
But yeah, we've been married for 9 years. Going on 9 years.
Yeah, you've been married for...
So August will be 9 years. oh, we've been together for 10 and we've known each other for 15.
Yeah.
We were best friends before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cute.
Cute.
Oh.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you feel the same way you felt for your partner at the beginning of the relationship? No, it always changes.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Like, when we first got together, it was always butterflies, and I'm always so excited. Now it's a, not I'm comfortable in it, but there's a different...
I don't get butterflies, but I still get that feeling that when he's like, I'm on my way home, I get that, yay, I'm so excited. Yeah. Like, and I just saw you 4 hours ago, but I don't care.
Right.
So, like, no, I absolutely...
It's a different kind of love, and it's a mature love. Mature,
yeah.
It's not like grown. A puppy love. It's
not the first stage love. It's
you've been together and living with each other, and you still love each other.
And you still love each other, and you've learned how to, like, it's beautiful. I love it. I think it's fantastic to see
the growth.
Yeah.
And
because
like
and what's funny is everyone's like, do you still love him? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I've been with him long enough now that we don't have to express it the same way that we used to.
Yeah, when you're first getting together, it's like you're always telling each other I love you. You're always like on each other.
Okay. But no, we tell each other we love each other probably 14,000 times a day.
Yeah, same.
We just walk by and we're like, love you, babe.
Love you, babe.
Love you, babe.
That's cute.
So he used to be cute in his text messaging and how he used to text message.
Well, that's
and
just relationships.
He used to say, and I'm like, he used to be so cute.
Guys. FYI,
don't change.
Just because you've been with the person for 10 years doesn't mean romance has to go anywhere.
Yes, keep it going.
We like the little notes here or the little this here. Romance is good. Facts. Okay, I got one. Do you like spending time with your partner's friends and family? I do. It's so funny because Jonathan's parents and me at first were not, not that we didn't hate each other, but we just weren't.
There was just a definite,
definitely
disagreement level.
Now it's so amazing because I consider Candy to be like a best friend.
Yeah, and from my perspective, seeing your relationship with Candy and Gary grow has been amazing to me because I remember feeling like they didn't like you. I mean, that happens. Life, people grow up.
Well, it's also he's an only child. So that's Candy's baby. And I get that.
I get that.
I totally get that being a mom. Mm-hmm. But, it's so cool because at first it was a very, estranged, kind of awkward relationship because, there was this line of, okay, well, now... we love talking to each other. We talk to each other almost every day.
I know. It's so funny the way that they talk to each other now.
And we go shopping together and we just tell each other everything. It's really, I love you, Mom.
It's been awesome to watch that grow. Yes, I do love spending time with you guys. But I just don't feel like I need to spend as much time as what maybe I feel like they need to spend, or because I like going over there. I'm not gonna say that I don't, but I mean, and they all know we don't all see eye to eye because I just grew up different. They grew up different. We were all sort of raised in a different way.
No, I get that. I totally get that.
And so I'm just not
sometimes
used to it.
Sometimes it's just nice to have your time with your partner.
But no, and I love it when Brian and I go together more so than just when he's just like.
When it's like a family dinner or something.
Family dinner, but I like going over there. Just don't need to do it all the time.
All the time, yeah, exactly. No, I totally get
that.
I
love you guys.
I totally get that.
But I never stop Brian from going over there as much as he wants to. He can go over there as much as he wants to.
He seems really close with his family.
He is, but he knows I'm really close too. And that's one thing about him and I is he won't ever stop the amount of times, and I will never tell him no. I just don't personally go myself, and that's okay too.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
It's okay for him to go and me not go every time.
Exactly. So. I agree with that. Can you recall the most romantic moment with your partner? I mean, there's a couple, but the one that really sticks out to me is when we first started dating. Jonathan, I still have it, by the way, burnt me a CD of him singing and playing God Gave Me You.
Oh, cute.
And he gave it to me, and I still have it.
So cute.
And that was our wedding song and everything.
Yeah.
And it still is our song, and that was one of the most romantic gestures he's ever really done.
So, but I would say one of the most romantic things, and one of the things that really made me just fall in love with him, was the very first Christmas we ever spent together. I mean, I've told you this story, but it was a rough year for me. I didn't have a whole lot of money. It was I was living with my ex-best friend's parents, so like
yeah.
it was a weird
Awkward.
situation, and so I didn't have a whole lot of money, and he went shopping with me on Christmas Eve, and he was watching me put all this stuff back that I couldn't afford.
Aww.
And because I was just like, oh well, I want to get this for my family, and I do this, but I was putting everything back because I was just like, I really don't need to do this. And then we went out to the car after we purchased what I purchased and what I could. Went out to the car, and he's like, oh shoot, I totally forgot my niece's gift. I forgot to grab her one thing. So he went in there and grabbed everything that I put back and purchased it all for me. And he's like, I didn't want you to feel bad for not getting your family stuff. And I was like, oh my god. And so that was kind of the most romantic thing, because I didn't even hardly know him. Like, we haven't even officially
That was really sweet. It meant something to you, so he really wanted to make that happen.
So that was kind of the most romantic, because he's that way. Yeah. I love him to death, but he does think that the best way to show someone you care for them is to spend money on them.
You're like, okay, I love the fridge.
I love the fridge, and I love the washer and dryer.
That's funny.
But I would really like a ring on my finger.
Oh, snap. You like it, so put a ring on it. Ooh. How do you show your love for each other?
I kind of already told you mine. Brian likes to buy me stuff.
Is there certain things you'll do, like just go out of your way to do? Like I'll cook his favorite meal or something every now and then, like something that he really like. I'm talking about like 4-course meal. I'm like, hey,
yeah,
like something like that.
I do that. What I do is I go out of my way to make sure he always has a generally good dinner, like. Good. Because we live in Homedale, so we don't have a lot of choices to go out to eat, and so I do try to always make it up to him, because we don't have anywhere to where he can just eat fast.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's, he doesn't eat and he starves because he's apparently can't do anything. No, but I'll do things like that, or like if I know that he's going out of town for a work trip, like I will pack his entire bag and get him ready for get it ready for him to go, so that all he has to do the next morning is go.
Aww.
Like I'll do things like that. I'll make sure that he has the stuff. I just feel like the things that I do for him are what he wants.
What he wants, yeah.
But
you do it for him, so it makes it a little bit easier for him. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I'll do that. I think that's just like a general thing that I think women do is just. I think
it's just the way we were made.
Yeah,
we're just nurturing people.
Yeah. And I think just doing things that they love, or just little things here and there, like something to take out of their day, something they don't have to do, especially if like they've had like a bad day or something.
Yeah.
It's always nice to do something like a little bit extra. So yeah, I agree with that. That's I do the same thing. This one's gonna be easy. When was the last time you said "I love you" to your partner? Mine was this morning.
I think last night.
Because
I haven't talked to him at all today.
Do you make sacrifices for your relationship?
I feel like I do.
Oh yeah. Well, every day is a sacrifice. You're choosing. That's the thing, is that a lot of people think love is a feeling.
It's not.
It's not. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
You choose to love your partner. Sometimes you might not like them very much, but you choose.
And
choose
it's
to
hard
love them.
work to go home to choose to love them every day. Not saying that it's hard to love them, but it's just hard to keep up that choice.
Well, you're two different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you have to learn to let someone that's completely different than you, someone that could be completely opposite of you and what you like and stuff, and you're still choosing to go home and love them every single day despite the differences that you have.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that the day before you wanted to punch them in the face.
Right. Like me and Jonathan are like the complete opposites, but it works. But it works.
Me and Brian are 100% opposite.
But it works.
It works for us.
And that's because you guys sacrifice for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to make a relationship work, you have to sacrifice.
You do.
You can't just take. You have to give. Will you say sorry to your partner, even though it's not your fault?
Yep.
Yeah, I've done it. I'm like, I know that this isn't my fault in my head, but I'm like, I'm sorry that you feel that way, or like, I'm sorry that
I'm the type of person that I say sorry a lot because I don't want that, like, dead air in between, like,
yeah, no.
You know, when, like, you're not really fighting about it, but you
don't
still,
want it to
like,
be a fight either.
You don't want it to be a fight, so sometimes I'll just be like, look, I'm sorry, bro.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Can we just be over this?
Yeah, and sometimes I'll just be like, I'm sorry. Or, like, I don't even feel like I did anything wrong, but I will still go and apologizing and be like, I'm sorry that I said the way that I said it and that it came out that way, that was not my intention.
Yep, I've done that a lot.
Even though I know that I did nothing wrong.
Because the thing is that, like, this happens a lot with just relationships, you know. I always say, Jonathan, I'm hearing with pink headphones. Like, I am a woman, so when you say things a certain way and you think there's nothing wrong with it, I heard it a certain way because sometimes Jonathan, I love him to death, but he can come across very stern.
Yes.
Very stern.
Brian can too.
And I'm like, did I do something wrong?
I do that all the time. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with you? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, are you mad? And he'll be like, I'm not mad. And I'm like, well, then you need to change the tone in your voice because... And
then it's like an argument. He's like, well, I'm not doing it. And then, okay, I'm sorry. I heard it a certain way. I'm sorry, you know. So, yeah, that happens. That can happen a lot. You know, like... I'm not talking just men, but women too. Like, we can say things a certain way, and they're like, what the heck?
Apparently, I do it all the time. I just don't realize it.
Because women are very emotional beings.
Sorry.
And so, we could be, like, having a bad day, but we're not necessarily mad at them.
No.
But because we've had a bad day, it kind of comes across, and they're like, what the heck?
Like, I don't understand, but sometimes they do it too. They just don't realize it. It's just hard because... we listen to ourselves, but we don't listen to ourselves. We don't hear ourselves from another person's point of view.
It's true.
So we think that we're saying everything perfectly and we're doing everything right, and then
they're like, what's going on?
They're like, the way you just spoke to me was like a whole new, and I'm like, sorry, bro, I didn't know.
Have you seen each other at your best and worst?
I would say yes.
I would say
pretty close.
I mean, I think Jonathan's seen more of my worst. Jonathan's a very level-headed person, usually. So, he doesn't, like, go off the deep end. Apparently, I do. Well, you know, especially after I had Harmony, I had a lot of postpartum depression, which I didn't realize what it was. I thought I was just, like, being lazy and, like, but lo and behold. And I didn't talk to anybody about it, but he lived through it. Yeah. And he was really sweet through that entire... Now that I look back at it, he was really sweet. He was always very attentive. Like, what's wrong? What's going on? I'm like, nothing. What do you mean? I didn't realize what it was. But he's seen me at my worst, for sure. And we've both seen each other at our best because, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that I've seen Jonathan at his worst because I know that he's perfect. He's not perfect, but he's just not, I mean, he's been a jerk before. That's for sure.
I feel like yes, but that's because I've seen him probably be the most vulnerable he's ever been in his entire life.
Yeah.
And that alone can make you see someone either at their best or their worst.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
It's how they come out of that situation.
Yeah.
And how they come out of that being that vulnerable.
Yeah.
That is going to show you whether or not you've seen them at your best and at your worst. And I've seen Brian be more vulnerable than I've ever seen him, and we got through it.
Yeah.
He took it with grace. I probably would not have been as graceful and as calm in that situation than he was.
Yeah.
Because I don't handle things like that as easy as he does.
And that's why you guys work, though, because he's kind of an anchor. That's how Jonathan is to me, I feel like. Because he's very level-headed, and he's a very analytical person, and I'm a very, like, emotional person.
Yes.
I'm a very, like, go with my emotions and how I'm feeling, and he's very, like, wait, take a step back. Yep. Let's look at this, you know, realistically kind of person, and so it works.
Brian always, he kind of does this thing where he just asks me, he's like, are we problem solving or are we just listening?
Ooh.
Like, what are we doing
That's
today?
something that I need,
like,
maybe, because Jonathan likes to fix.
Because, but sometimes,
you just want somebody to listen.
But that's what the thing is I would talk to Brian, I'd be having a hard time, and he would come at me with all this advice and things to do and things, like, to do to fix the situation, and I would just feel like that wasn't the answer that I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
and then he was like, well, I don't understand what you want from me. You're coming to me, and I was like, I just want you to listen. I just want to vent. I need somebody to vent to.
That's good. Are we problem solving or are we just listening? Yeah, that's good.
So it's kind of this new thing that we come up with where if I'm upset, he's like, okay, am I listening? Or are we gonna sit down? Or are we gonna figure out this problem?
Yeah.
What's going on? And it's kind of stopped us from having a lot of fights because we would have a lot of small fights that would start with him just
trying to fix the problem.
You're
not wanting to
when
fix
I
the
don't
problem.
want anything to be fixed.
You just want to talk about it. Yeah.
I just want someone to sit there and agree with me and be like, yes, that person is a total jerk face to you. I'm sorry that happened, babe. Let's go beat him up. Like, that's what I want sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's always like, well, what can we do to make this relationship with this person better?
And you're like,
I'm like,
I don't care.
I don't want to make it better. Right now, I hate that person or whatever.
Aw. If you could choose your partner again, would you choose the same person? No doubt. Yeah, that's my
Probably.
Yeah, that's my ride or die. We're just like made for each other. He's a good guy.
I mean, I would probably say that I would choose Brian, but I did choose him twice, technically.
Well, you did twice, technically. Yeah, it'll be a third time.
Be a third time.
Alright guys, well that is our little Valentine's Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just get to know us a little bit better. And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes. And as always, I love you guys very much. Stay awesome. Stay beautiful. Boom. Done.
Boom. Done.
Hi.